Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It's Friday, May the 15th. I'm Andrew Gagan. The local market is set for a strong start this morning with ASX futures up around 0.6%. Global investment sentiment was positive overnight. There was focus on Beijing as President Trump and Xi Jingping met, with both leaders hailing a constructive outcome on trade. On Wall Street, major indices were lifted by a rally in tech stocks, with investors encouraged by solid economic data. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq again closing at record highs, while the Dow was just shy of a record it set 3 months ago. Nvidia shares closed sharply higher after the US cleared the sales of the company's H200 chips to Chinese firms, following Chief Executive Jensen Huang's trip to China with President Trump. However, AI-related firms including Qualcomm, Intel, SanDisk and Micron slid. Cisco surged, hitting an all-time high after the computer networking giant announced almost 4,000 job cuts as part of a restructuring scheme. Chipmaker Cerebras jumped around 68% as it made its US market debut. And US-listed shares of tech infrastructure firm Nebius Group rose after a broker upgrade. And China has agreed to buy 200 jets from Boeing, according to President Trump, following his summit in Beijing, where the aircraft manufacturer's stock lost altitude. Well, the summit between China's President Xi Jingping and US President Donald Trump included talks on the Iran war, trade and Taiwan, with President Xi warning his American counterpart that's mishandling their disagreements over Taiwan could push relations between the two superpowers to a dangerous place. The US summary of the talks focused on the leaders' shared desire to reopen the key waterway of the Strait of Hormuz and China's apparent interest in buying American oil. Well, US retail sales accelerated in April, rising 0.5%, driven in part by rising fuel receipts, with higher oil prices boosting sales at the pump, with gasoline prices up more than 12% in April. Longer-dated US Treasury yields have pulled back, with the 2-year at 3.99%, the 10-year down to 4.45%. Australian 3-year government bond yields, they were down to 4.66%, and the 10-year was at 5%. And last night, the federal opposition responded to the budget, with the Liberal leader Angus Taylor pledging a $22.5 billion package, while promising to end bracket creep by indexing tax brackets to inflation. He also announced plans for a $50,000 annual instant tax write-off for small businesses, while lifting defence spending to 3% of GDP. The US dollar index is up around 0.33% on the day, the Aussie trading at 72.2 US cents. Oil prices little changed after Iran's state media said about 30 vessels had crossed the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude futures at $106 a barrel. Gold is edged lower, currently around $4,650 an ounce. Copper futures down more than 1%. Iron ore at $113 a tonne. And Bitcoin is trading above 81,000 US dollars. On the corporate calendar today, Auckland Airport has a quarterly update and GQG Partners is holding its AGM. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again on Monday.